Do you sometimes wonder why some stores seem to sell effortlessly while others struggle even with similar products? The truth is, it's not just about what you sell. It's about how you tap into the psychology of your customers. Most e-commerce brands are leaving money on the table because they don't understand or don't utilize the hidden psychological triggers that drive sales. Another problem is that when brands do apply psychological triggers, they always apply the same ones like scarcity, only 3 items left, or urgency, hurry, only 2 days left, or social proof. And I'm not saying these don't work or that they're not powerful, but everyone starts to see and understand and know them. And therefore it's less likely that they will actually convince people to buy because they see what you're doing. And that's a shame because there are so many psychological triggers that you can use. There are hundreds. And in this video, I'm going to highlight 5 unusual ones that can dramatically boost your sales. Sure, not all 5 of them might work for you, but some of them will. If they would all work for everyone, then everyone would already be using them. It's up to you to see what can I use, what kind of trigger is good for my brand, what will boost my sales. Because if you can identify which trigger is good for you, then you will find a unique asset you can use to motivate your visitors to buy. Now, the 5 principles that I'm going to share today will help you increase your sales, or they will help you for your customers to spend more or that they come back for more. But first, if you're new here, I'm Marc Uitterhoeve and I'm the CEO of Texture Agency. We specialize in helping 6-figure stores get to that 1 million mark by helping them implement the essential marketing foundations. And even though psychological triggers are not an essential foundation that you need to have, it is what we call a conversion booster, something that will definitely help to grow your store. And that's why we also incorporate that in our 7-figure foundations community, where we help business owners and e-commerce brands to grow their store sustainably. And since we have worked and are still working with a lot of 7 and 8-figure stores, we have seen what kind of psychological principles work and which one are really powerful. So today I want to share a couple of them with you. So let's dive in. The first psychological principle that I want to share with you is the endowment effect. The endowment effect stands for that people place more value on things that they already own, or at least feel that they own. Now, how can you use this principle? What you slowly see a bit more often now, but it's still underutilized, is the 100% money back guarantee, no questions asked. There are still some e-commerce brands that say 100% money back guarantee, but there's still like a lot of hoops you need to jump through in order to get there. But I'm talking here about the guarantee that you don't have to fill in a lot of forms, you don't have to contact 10 different departments or pay high shipping fees. Everything is taken care of. If you're not happy, you just ship it back for free and you get a full refund, or you get the refund plus the shipping cost that you spent. What happens here is that more people will just buy the product because there is not really much risk for them. And what results in that is that once they have it, they are less likely to return it. Because as soon as they own a product, people don't really want to give it up anymore. People usually, or brands usually, don't offer this because they risk a lot of returns. And yes, your returns will increase. But the idea here is that you of course test it out, and what oftentimes happens is that the conversion rate and the average order value increase so drastically that it greatly outweighs the returns. Another phenomenon that uses the endowment effect is the try before you buy. There are actually Shopify apps that allow you to do this very easily, so that people only buy once they have the product. Of course, there's a lot of skepticism about this because will the customer pay, etc. But these apps will have that covered, and they will have insurances to make sure that you get paid. And in this case, the person will have the product. They actually don't have that doubt. Will it arrive? Will it be good quality? Will it be undamaged? So when they are satisfied with what they have, then the payment will go through. And there are these apps that will make sure that there are no scammers there involved, of course. But this is a great example of how the endowment effect works. The second one is a bit more common, and that is the anchoring bias. This bias is about the first number that people see that will vastly influence their perception of value. Now, how this works is that usually, for example, with services, you see it a lot with plans, that there is a very expensive plan that is like $200, and then people will see the next plan, which includes a lot of the same features, and that's $50. So that people will be like, that's a good buy, like that's almost a cheat, like I can just buy this and I save a lot of money. While if they would have only seen that $50 option, they would be like, oof, that's a lot of money. But now they look it into relation with the first price that they saw, $200, and then it suddenly becomes a good bargain. And this is sometimes also used with products. For example, showcasing a laptop that's very expensive. and has so many features that most of the people won't even need. And then the second option of a laptop, which is much cheaper and has similar options but just less advanced, but still suitable for the majority of the customers, is therefore very appealing. There are different ways in which you can apply this, and you have to be careful that you don't really scare the people that just come on your site and see an immensely expensive product and then just leave. So you need to make sure that the alternative is easy to spot and to see, or that it's built up a certain way that people know that there is more than just that one product or service. But anchoring is a super powerful method because people will feel like a premium price is actually not that premium if they see that there's an even higher priced option available. The third principle is quite interesting, and I hope that I don't ruin the name. It's the Zeigarnik Effect. Probably said it wrong. But anyway, this is the idea that uncompleted or incomplete tasks stick in people's mind in an annoying kind of way. People would like to finish what they start, and therefore, if there's an unfinished business, if there's something that they haven't completed yet, it just aches and they need to scratch that ache. How you oftentimes see this is as a progress bar, for example, starting from the cart page where it shows that you already completed a step, and then people want to unconsciously want to finish the next step in order to complete the entire sequence. But it could also be used in a way where people can earn points and that they would need to complete the order in order not to lose those points that they just saved up by adding these products to their cart. I know this sounds a bit silly, but subconsciously that really has an effect on people. Another one, which is a bit related to the first example I gave, is when you're in the cart and you need only a few more dollars to reach a certain threshold. For example, you would then get free shipping or maybe a free gift, and people feel like, let me complete this, let me complete the level in order to get that new upgrade. So this is a really powerful effect that you can use. The fourth principle actually will sound familiar to you, but it's not used a lot, and that surprises me. And that is the loss aversion technique. People are more motivated to avoid losing something than they are motivated to gain something. And I'm talking about things of the same value. So if someone could win something of $50, or you kind of say you already have $50 and you can lose it, that will hurt them more if they can lose it. So that is a really powerful technique that you can apply. And how this is sometimes used, or oftentimes used, is when you don't just give them a coupon code and say, hey, here's 10% off, but it's about saying you have a 10% discount code, don't lose your discount. And something that I actually don't see, but something that I really recommend people to do, is give them a coupon code. So make it sound a bit different. The effect is the same thing. So it would be like a 10% discount or a 20% discount. And you can give them a monetary value. You can give them a coupon of $10 or $20, and they would have to spend that with a minimum certain amount of money, right? So that comes down to a percentage discount. But then they feel like they have that money, they have the $20 to spend. You can say, don't lose your $20, which is more painful than don't lose your 20%. 20%? What's 20%? $20? Yeah, I know that's something that I don't want to lose. I know what that is. So that's much more powerful. And that is something that you can use in order to motivate people to take action and to buy. A small side step here is that it also is sometimes used for shopping carts. Don't lose the items in your shopping cart. Woo, that's not really going to scare me because I was probably not even interested in them anyway, or I'm in doubt and I might lose the shopping cart. I just add them again to it. Sometimes it's also used in a way where it's not really effective. But when it comes to monetary value, that's very helpful to apply this technique. And the last one, I just like the name. You might hate the brand or the company, what it stands for, but it's the IKEA effect. Now, we all know how IKEA works. You buy something, you tinker something, you have the wrong bolts, you have a missing plug, like there's always something wrong. You put it up and somehow something's always missing. Anyway, you build something from scratch. You build something for yourself. Your hands made it. And that makes something more valuable to people. And you can use that. You can use this, for example, where people can configure products on your site. If they can decide the color, that they can decide maybe the length or the width of something, or they can select the material. You can offer all these different customizations already on the site, or you create a kind of a builder where people can build that customization themselves, and therefore they feel like they are making their own product. Nike does that, for example, as well with shoes, where you can create your own shoe and then it feels really like your shoe. So you can look in ways where people can create something themselves, or they can customize something, or they can tweak certain settings, and therefore it becomes more their own thing. What I also like about this technique is what you can apply it for as well, and that is not necessarily on your site, but it's also something that you can use with your emails, and that is that people can actually vote for, or they can actually give input for a new product name or design or color or taste. If you are going to create a new product or you're going to add new products, you can involve your existing customers in asking them for feedback. And if you're creating a supplement and you're asking maybe for a certain taste, and you don't want to end up with people just saying, oh, vomit or poop or whatever, you're afraid that people just don't take it seriously. And trust me, there are only a few that will do that. But if you don't want to be tied to something that you kind of know is ridiculous name or a ridiculous taste, you can give them options. You can say, okay, we have these 5 things. What do you like? And give also your suggestions so that at least people have a choice, they have a say in things, but you at least end up with something that you can actually execute. Involving your customers in some decision making, make them feel like they are part of your brand, and that will make them loyal. And this is super powerful, and trust me, if you're going to apply this, if you see a way to apply this, you will have such a big advantage, because a lot of brands don't do this. They either don't know that they can do it, or they're too scared, or they just don't take their own customers seriously. But when you do, when you take your customers seriously, they will know and feel that, and they will reward you with loyalty. Now, these are just 5 principles that you can apply when it comes to psychology triggers. And understanding these principles is just the beginning. If you want to know how to apply these strategies, or if you want to know what else you can do and what is suitable for your brand and your business, feel free to schedule a call with me. We'll talk about a lot more things than just psychology principles. We're going to look at how many of your visitors actually convert into paying customers, what you can do to increase your average order value, and what you can do to retain your customers and have them buy again. Basically, we'll look at what's working and what's not, and where you could use some help. And trust me, even if we are not a good fit, I will help you create at least the next step that you can execute that will help you grow your store. Now, if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to hear more about psychological triggers, e-commerce tips, or other e-commerce strategies. See you in the next video.